saying to you, it's Wednesday, the 3rd of February, and I've been out at Tuxford this week.
Turn left onto Felsham Chase.
And then with this breaker's yard near where I live, and they want me all week. So, and that is picking up damaged cars, taking them back to the yard for insurance companies to assess and do what they do with them. Now this involves I'm in a 2-car today, but I was out in a 3-car yesterday. Alright my darling, give it a rest. Jeez, more rabbit than Sainsbury's. Yeah, so I'm picking cars up now. This would perhaps worry a few people because it's not conventional work, but years ago when I was saving up for my wedding, I used to go out and do my day job, then come home, and at night or the weekends in particularly, I used to go and do a bit of PPJing, paid per job.
Exit the roundabout onto Ness Road.
And that was for a company I can mention because they're out of business, and it wasn't because of me. Trial Recovery. And yeah, I just used to go around picking up broken down cars, not fixing them, just picking them up and rescuing families. And I used to love that job. We used to have this special road coming out of Trowel, leading straight to Trowel Services, which then let you straight onto the M1 or whatever. And I always felt like a Thunderbird going down there to rescue people. You know, people are always pleased to see you type thing, well, usually. So yeah, the actual job itself didn't faze me. I just needed to go out with the guy yesterday just to get back into the swing of things. But it's nothing I hadn't done before. So yeah, quite enjoying it. I'm in Cambridge at the moment. Before I've got to go back to the yard, drop these 2 off, then go and get 2 more out of Lincoln, and that'll be me done for the day. I'm in a 7.5 tonner flatbed. This time next week I shall be training on my class 1.
Quarter of a mile, slight right onto High Street.
And that is scary stuff. I'd like to talk to you, while I've got this opportunity, about agency work. I've had quite a few people
Slight right onto High Street, B1102.
drop me a line just to ask me questions. What kind of money? How much work? How easy is it to get into? What happens when you get into it? Do they train you up? Or do they just let you get on with it, etc.? Because when people go through the Class C, it's more expensive to go through Class C than it is your Class 1. Because you have to do all the donkey work in Class C, all your theory tests and all that malarkey, your medicals. Absolutely everything, even down to getting the licence itself, everything comes at a cost, and it's a lot of money. So by the time you get to passing, you've already invested a fair amount of time. And basically what people want to know is that once you're qualified, can you go out and get work straight away? Because unfortunately a lot of people, they look into jobs on the websites and they're all agency jobs. They don't, in fact I don't know where transport does its recruiting. It certainly ain't on the job sites. Very rarely do you see like a private ad. So they're all agencies, and it you know, a lot of these jobs are saying they require 2 years experience, or at the minimum 6 months experience. Well, everybody started somewhere in the trucking world, and I don't care whether you were driving a 7.5 tonner or everybody started somewhere. Everybody had a day one drive with zero experience. So somebody's employing these guys. They don't get to having 2 years experience for nothing. And I noticed a lot of the adverts now they're putting in, because a lot of people obtain the license then sit on it for a while, and they're now putting it in, must have had active drives over the past 6 months or whatever. So in that particular category they're recruiting for. So there are jobs out there because it's always been that way. People have always wanted experience, but they can't always have experience. Depends what they're paying. So the net result of all this is that you tend to be put on the jobs that maybe people don't want. But you're starting on a new career, and as I see it, you're on the bottom rung of the ladder, and you've got to work your way up. You've got to fight for your position, just like in any other trade. It doesn't matter what you're doing, painting, decorating, mechanicking, whatever. You have to fight for your position so that you get the better jobs, the better money, etc, etc, etc. So give these agencies a call. Now bear in mind, I will forewarn you, and this was news to me, and it was something that I did not expect, that January and early February, by all accounts, are dead in Class 2, Class C. Now, there has been a couple of rumblings on my channel about work being a bit threadbare in Class 1, which I hope doesn't come to fruition, because I'm investing more money. So I'll be absolutely honest with you, it caught me blindside. I did not expect January to be dead, because I passed my test in July, as you all know, and I literally jumped straight in a wagon, and I didn't stop driving until, in fact, I'll tell you what I did. I took a week off from driving in Tuxford to go and drive for another company, try a bit of long distance stuff, and then I went back, and then all of a sudden work in late December started to become a bit sporadic. And when I say sporadic, I mean things like I'd be booked in on a week, I'd get 2 days into it, and they'd finish me. They wouldn't need me because the work was drying up. Because they will not keep you on out of the goodness of their hearts, I'll tell you that. There's no sentiment in this business. So yeah, and then as the work really dried up in January, I got messed about ridiculously. A particular company that I'm driving for today, an agency, they booked me in for a week's work moving cars for no, not cars, delivering lorries for a company, brand new lorries. And at the time I'd hurt my shoulder, and I thought that would have been great. And he said, what? Because I called the night guy, and he called me back, and he said, yeah, I'll sort that out for you. What I'll do is I'll let you know what time, all that malarkey, who you've got to see, the start time, etc. So I waited, and I got nothing. So I called them back, and they said they couldn't see anything on the system, but they'll speak to the guy that spoke to me. So they spoke to him, and he said, well, I didn't promise it him, he put me in on it, you know. And so, and the other guy said, well, listen, what we'll do is I'll look into it properly, and I'll get back to you at the close of business, before the close of business today. Saturday comes round, I hadn't had the calls, so I didn't get that call as promised. So I give him a call back, and we had a bit of a row, because I was pretty cross, as you can imagine.
Keep right,
and
Station Road.
he said, look, I can only apologise. I think he come round in the end, and thinking that I'd been stiff.
Continue on B1102
And
for 3 miles.
he said, anything out there, you'll be the first on the list. And I said, okay, fair enough, and left it at that. There's no point in going any further because you're going to get nothing out of it. And then I get a phone call saying this job had come up, and it was local to me, so there's no travelling involved. Perfect. And previously, I'd been booked on jobs, and I've even got there, and they said, "Oh, we don't need you." And I got messed around so much. In fact, at one point, I'd get a booking, then they'd cancel. I'd get another booking with somebody else, and then they'd cancel. I think it happened up to 3 times. I cancelled off jobs all in the same 2-hour period. Don't offer any agency your loyalty. Don't sit there thinking that they're worried about whether you're going to be paying your mortgage this month or not, because they won't be. Yeah? If you get work, take it. The only thing I will say to you is, if you do get work, then be courteous, let the other agencies know that you're not available, and let them clearly know when you are available. That's all you can do, you know, and keep on to them. Just because they're not calling you doesn't mean that you can't call them. Phone them up, remind them you're still there. Hello, this is Paul, I'm still here. Hello, I need some work. Yes, it's me. So let them know, keep them badgering them. They badger clients, don't feel bad about it. So yeah, say look, I'm still available, I've got nothing booked in, you're pretty desperate, you'll do whatever. You know, and sometimes they'll get you a driver in a 7.5 tonner and pay you class 2, you know. But as per usual, I got this particular, excuse me, this particular job for the rest of this week. And then my other agency, who I did the job for on Monday, rung up and said, could I go back to Tuxford? They want you all week. And I said, I'm ever so sorry, but I've literally been up to see a bloke at this scrapyard, just to have a chat with him about, you know, as he was a bit worried putting an agency driver on this type of work. So, yeah, I'd got 10 days work, or 8 days work, when you look at it, if I wanted it. So it's just the way it is. And the funny thing about this game, as it turns out, is if it becomes busy again, and everybody says it will, and I can't see any reason why it can't, then all of a sudden this 2 years experience that is so precious to them disappears, it evaporates. They find a way around it because they become that desperate for drivers, they'll take whatever they can get. They need to get their product into stores, into warehouses and to customers, and that's just the way it is. So don't worry about not having an experience. Every single lorry driver you see out on that road started with 0 experience. Now you may choose to go down a full-time employment route, which is fine. But bear in mind, you're not just going to walk into a blue chip company. And I use the word blue chip. There's another vlogger out there, Trucker Bill. He's been offering, I think he's been doing the job on class 1 at any rate for quite a number of years. And in his opener on his page, he's put, you know, his goal is to get to Canada, doing the oil pipe runs or whatever. Thank you. Oh, this gearbox is so sloppy. No, I want first gear. Yeah, well, we are in first. Yes. So I think he wants to get to Canada, and I wouldn't blame him. I've been to Canada myself. It's absolutely beautiful. I could live there myself. But yeah, so he's been off. Trucker Bill has been offering advice, and he's on agency. He's been doing agency for years. Bear with me. I just need to concentrate on it. about getting in with agencies and getting in with agencies that have got a blue chip client on the books, i.e. Tesco or PC World or Wilkinson's. Well, some of these big name brands that are on our high streets, they tend not to employ directly so much because the fluctuation of their trade. They rely heavily on agencies. And even the blue chip companies, when they get desperate, will put in a brand new driver. Yeah, somebody might have to go on an assessment drive with you, but nevertheless they will use you when they get desperate. But if you go with no experience to a blue chip company, 9 times out of 10 you'll get nowhere. That's if you want a job with them. And a lot of people within their companies start off as yardmen or shunters or loaders or whatever, and they upgrade, they develop within the company, so they get employment that way. But if you've just passed your test and you walk in with your certificate saying I'd like a job, 9 times out of 10 they won't have it. So you're not looking at the cream of jobs right off the bat. Yeah, forget the cream. What you're going to get is the bit at the bottom of the milk bottle that's curdled a little bit. And do you know what? When you get it, you've just got to be happy with it. That's just the way it is. You've got to take your curdled milk and make a bit of cottage cheese out of it. Because you've just got to make the best of a bad situation. You've got no experience, deal with it. So you'll find some of these other companies, they might be a bit rough and ready. You've still got to protect your licence, you've still got to do everything right, but sometimes it might not be under the best circumstances. But I didn't choose that route. I chose to go and get experience on agency books. And the reason I chose agency was because years ago I went to work for a catering agency, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the freedom, I loved the company I worked for, I loved the clients I worked for. In 10-12 years of doing it, I only come across 2 clients ever that I wouldn't want to go back to. And that, you get the freedom to do that. If you go somewhere and you absolutely hate their guts, you ain't going to go back there because you're not going to give your best. So I thought that during my time with that agency, working in different kitchens, day in, day out, different parts of the country, I developed a set of skills, I developed an experience second to none. Because if you can deal with the unpredictable, when the chips are down, pardon the pun, when the chips are down and you can go in there and make a feast and feed everybody, make everybody happy, then the customers are happy, the client's happy, the agent's happy, and you're happy. That's just the way it is. And I got so much experience by doing so many different things, and I was never scared to do any of it. I had the basic skills to cook, I had the rudiments of catering, I got that down. So I took my skills and I always jumped in any situation feet first, and I could cook anything. Throw anything at me, I'll cook it for you. Absolutely anything. I don't care if it's dishes I've never heard of. Bottom line is, food is food. It's just protein and it all cooks. That's it. So the net result of spending all those years on agency books is that I became a better chef, rather than the same chef going into one kitchen, doing one set of menus, working for 2-3 head chefs in that time. You're only learning what you can in that one environment. So you take that particular chef out of, and I know I'm using the chef and it doesn't translate into driving, but it will. You take that chef out of that particular environment and put them into another environment, they don't know what they're doing. They do struggle because they're out of the comfort zone. They're not doing what they do as a daily routine, and that never bothered me. So I'm hoping that if I spend a few years on the agency books, at the end of it I'll be a better driver for it. I've done 6 short months in my new career, and so far I've driven 22-ton vehicles. I've driven 22-ton vehicles that's got low roofs on them, strapping steel down. I've driven recovery vehicles. I've driven fridge vehicles. I've driven curtain siders. All stuff I've never knew how to do. All with different gearboxes, all different setups, and I've just gone in and got on with it. And I think I'm a far more experienced driver, and I'm not experienced. That's not what I'm telling you. Than probably somebody that had passed the test, gone to work for Tesco's, and done that one job. Already, I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of that guy that's gone out and done that, because I've got a bit of experience doing a bit of all sorts. And on the agency, you know, whenever they phone you up, you can turn your hand to whatever, and that's what it's all about. So from my point of view, I would definitely recommend agency work as a route into this industry, and B, a way of not only getting your experience, but also making the most of that experience, you know, doing your different jobs and whatnot. So yes, there always will be that occasion when you get booked in on a job, you come to Sunday evening and somebody gives you a call saying they've cancelled it, because it changes, the industry changes all the while. And like I said, there's no love lost in this industry. You're either needed or you're not, and if they can't use you to your full potential, that's it, done. So, and the other good thing about agency is that they'll ask you a question. Now this is an important question, you've got to think carefully before answering it. They'll say to you, would you like to be considered for any temp to perms, which is a temporary position into a permanent position, which is usually a 12-week or 3-month probationary period. So this is a very, very popular way of recruiting in this industry. That guy's on his mobile phone. BV10 XEZ. Fast lane, up somebody's chuff on a mobile phone. I have no idea why they do that. Anyway, in a contraflow as well. Yes, so you'll. It's a very popular way of recruiting in the industry. So, if that's what ultimately you want stability, you want to know what you're doing Monday to Friday, then put yourself down for that. Get on with one of these companies. And it works both ways, this probation. It's not for them to assess you. You can also decide whether you want to take the position or not, whether you want to be a permanent employee. You know, maybe you think, well, you know, I'd like to do more than this with my licence. Then, if it's not working out, just let them know and they'll move you on to a new contract. No love lost. It's just the way it is. So yeah, I could recommend the agency, despite the January being absolutely bloody atrocious, and it was, and it makes life difficult. You know, you have to all of a sudden really tighten your belt, watch every penny. But I turned the negative into a positive. I flipped it round, and I said, right, I'm not just going to sit here and take the dead time. I'm going to do something with it. So that's why I, as you know, I announced I was going to do my Class 1 training. So yeah, don't get downhearted because you've passed your test at the wrong time of the year. That's not your fault. Nobody told you about this. Nobody will tell you about this. Don't get downhearted. There will be work out there for you. Have faith when I tell you that. If you do go down the agency route, don't just go and sign on with your local agency just because it's just round the corner from your Aunt Mabel's. No, forget that. Try and cover your bases. I live in an area called the Vale of Belvoir, quite near the Belvoir Castle. And surrounding me are the following counties. I've got Lincolnshire, Leicestershire, Nottinghamshire. Yeah, I've got three counties. No, I think I've gone wrong. No, I haven't. 3 counties around me. So I've got on with an agency out of Leicestershire, 2 agencies out of Nottinghamshire, because Nottinghamshire is more local to me, and it's also a bigger county as far as business is concerned. And then there's the Lincolnshire. I've signed on with a Lincolnshire agency, so I've covered all my bases. So don't sit and think you just got to sign on with one, and when you do get on with 4 agencies or whatever it may be, and there'll be 4 lots of assessments to do, you have to, prove competent with your paperwork, your driver's hours, etc, etc. Yeah, you'll have like a questionnaire with tick box, multiple choice, etc. So just refresh yourself, remind yourself of your driver hours and your working time directive and all that, and your road signs. They want to know that you're not going to be a danger when you're out there. Get registered with them and don't offer them any loyalty unless they offer you loyalty. If you're the go-to guy on the top of the tree, if you're the top of their pile, then you're going to offer them their loyalty, as I did with the catering agency. They kept me in work, I had a good working relationship with them, I kept loyal to them. But you can't do that when you're setting out. One of those 4 agencies will take over. They will be your bread and butter. So, but until that happens, don't offer them any of your loyalty. All you can do is be courteous, let them know you're booked on another job, and they'll be fine with it, absolutely fine with it.
17 miles.
Yep, so that's a quick rundown of agency work. As far as experience, I can't remember who it was, and I apologise for that. Somebody asked me, well, when you go out, when you pass your test, do they take you out for a drive? Well, some companies will perhaps do that to you. But literally, I went to do this job out of Tuxford. It was my first drive, and they threw the keys at me, a load of paperwork, and basically, pretty much said get on with it. And that's the way it is.